Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today we are diving right in and breaking down the exact playbook for cracking modern AI product management interviews. Look, if you're a PM, a product owner, or really any kind of tech leader right now, the ground beneath your feet is shifting incredibly fast. The fundamental rules of product development, they've changed, and that means how you interview for these roles has to change with it. So, we're going to extract the core insights from the Agentic AI Institute's research to give you the vocabulary, the frameworks, and honestly the edge you need to stand out from the pack. To really wrap your head around the massive disruption we're facing, you gotta hear this story. So there's this community on a NASA base in Mountain View, and they share central lawnmowers. But people kept forgetting to return them. Well, an 8-year-old boy saw this problem, opened up an AI building tool called Lovable, and literally just started typing prompts. In 5 prompts, he generated a completely functional rental site. We're talking a waitlist, access codes, and he even prompted the AI to run security checks to identify and fix gaps, all in 15 minutes. Seriously, this wasn't a team of senior engineers, it was an 8-year-old right before his bedtime. This proves without a doubt that there is an absolute step function change happening right now in the cost and time it takes to build software. And that step function change, it leads us directly to this staggering number. Right now, there are roughly 38 million developers in the entire world. But because the barrier to entry has just plummeted, projections are suggesting we're soon going to have 1 billion developers. 1 billion, just like we have 3 billion social media users. Pretty soon, anyone with an idea and the right prompts can build. That completely flips the competitive landscape for tech talent. You aren't just competing with other PMs anymore, you're competing in a world where literally everyone can build. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our agenda for the explainer. We'll hit the AI paradigm shift, agentic system thinking, the new AI product team, your evolving PM role, AI taste versus detail, and finally, acing the AI interview. Starting off with Section 1, the AI paradigm shift, goodbye silos. So, the old siloed way of building software, yeah, it's officially obsolete, and interviewers absolutely expect you to know that. Let's compare the traditional method to the new AI method. In the past, you know how it was. A product manager wrote a massive product requirements document, handed it off to design, who then handed it to engineering, and then, well, you'd wait 6 months to ship. And nobody really questioned that timeline. Today, designers who have never written a line of code are using no-code tools like Framer to build and publish full database-connected front ends themselves. And engineers, they're using AI IDEs like Cursor or AWS tools to prototype at lightning speed, talking directly with customers. The silos are completely gone. Moving right along to Section 2, agentic system thinking, beyond the model. If an interviewer asks you to design an AI system, you really need to show them you understand the full picture here. So the crucial point is, your product is not the model. Just plugging an API into an LLM does not make a viable enterprise-grade product. Actually, the model is just one tiny piece of a much larger, way more complex puzzle. If you're asked to whiteboard an architecture, you absolutely have to include these key components. You need tools so the agent can actually take action and change the state of the world. You need a knowledge base to give the agent context on how the business works. You need signals to understand the real-time current state of the world. You need memory to track history and past user interactions. You need guardrails for safety and compliance. And finally, you need orchestration, tying the whole shebang together. This is the exact vocabulary you must use in your interview to prove you have true system-level thinking. Which brings us to Section 3, the new AI product team. New roles, new rules. Team restructuring is happening right now across the entire industry, and you need to know exactly who is in the room with you. Meet the forward deployed engineer. These are product engineers who have root access to customers. They sit directly with users, observe their highly specific needs, and can iterate a brand new feature in 24 to 48 hours. Notice anything interesting there? They're encroaching heavily on traditional PM territory. They are discovering the next right product themselves. As a PM today, you aren't just writing tickets for them. You're working backward with them to align those crazy fast iterations with the overall business outcome. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the emergence of the backward deployed expert. If you're building an AI agent for, say, law, healthcare, or insurance, you desperately need domain experts. They're the ones who know what a good answer actually is. They define the compliance guardrails, they set the strict evaluation requirements, and they even write prompts to improve the model's accuracy. Your job as a PM is to partner super closely with these experts to create robust evaluations for helpfulness and harmlessness in those specialized fields. And then, of course, we have the orchestrator engineer or the AI architect. They're making the really hard technical calls on what to cache in memory, where to retrieve context from, and how to handle latency fallbacks. Let me be very clear here. An orchestrator engineer will absolutely be on your interview panel. Understanding their domain, even just at a high level, is completely non-negotiable if you want to get their sign-off. Let's jump to Section 4, your evolving PM role, finding your edge. Okay, so with engineers iterating directly with users and domain experts writing prompts, what do you actually do day to day to survive this disruption? Well, you operate with a dual focus, front end and back end. On the front end, you have to be totally obsessed with building user trust. AI is inherently uncertain, right? It makes mistakes, its behaviors change. You must design UX fallbacks and define edge cases, working hand in hand with designers. On the back end, you're setting up evaluations with those domain experts and managing executive stakeholders. You have to align leaders on the reality that the system will sometimes fail. It will probably have a lower helpfulness score initially, but that you have a solid roadmap to iteratively hill climb that quality week over week. All right, Section 5, AI taste versus detail, the ultimate framework. This right here is the exact framework interviewers are going to use to judge your hybrid skill set when you're in the hot seat. You need two main blocks of skills. First is AI taste. This means you deeply, fundamentally understand responsible AI. You know how to design for trust, for explainability, and for reversibility, meaning you allow users to easily undo an AI's action. The second block is attention to detail. This means having real technical chops. It means understanding your system architecture so well you can predict edge cases before they happen. And crucially, it means setting objective engineering targets that correlate directly to business outcomes. But there's one more highly specific detail skill you need to master. That missing detail skill? It's called vibe coding. Get this. In a recent Reddit post discussed by the Agentic AI Institute, a candidate interviewing for a senior level 6 PM role at Google totally aced their case study, crushed it. But then the interviewers asked them to vibe code a prototype of their idea right there on the spot, using AI tools. The candidate couldn't do it, and they failed the entire interview. No way, right? But it's true. Being able to use tools like Cursor, V0, or Lovable to spin up a prototype is no longer just a nice-to-have. It is absolute table stakes for an AI PM today. Okay, the home stretch, Section 6, Acing the AI Interview, Metrics That Matter. And this brilliantly illustrates the shift we've been talking about. When you get to the end of the interview, they will always ask you how you measure success. If you give a traditional answer, you will lose the room immediately. Traditional adoption metrics, like daily active users, they just aren't enough anymore. Someone logging in doesn't actually mean the AI helped them. For AI products, you must measure workflow completion. Did the agent actually finish the job? You must measure agent failure rates. Where exactly did it get stuck? And you must measure helpfulness scores, as defined by your backward deployed experts. You have to prove you can connect the raw engineering evaluations directly to the user's ultimate success. So, what does this all mean? The role of the product manager definitely isn't dying, it's just evolving incredibly rapidly. You are no longer just a ticket writer. You are a system thinker, a trust builder, and yes, a vibe coder. You have to understand the entire agentic ecosystem, partner with entirely new types of engineers and experts, and completely own the business outcome. So the big question to ask yourself as you prep for that next major career move is this. Are you ready to vibe code your next prototype and definitively define what good looks like for your AI agent? Because trust me, the interviewers are absolutely going to ask. Thanks so much for learning with us on this explainer, and hey, good luck out there.